preface this very basically by saying I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a surgeon, I don't have any of those expertise. None of them. Really none of them. So if you don't want to know about my opinions, then just click off the video, and that's absolutely fine. But don't take what I'm saying as gospel, because it probably will go into some theory roots, and some people don't want to hear that and some people do. I'll also say, because I don't want to be lambasted for one reason or another, China is a great country. There are, it has a lot of positive things about it. I've been to China a couple times, had really great experiences there. The people are super friendly. They take you in, they embrace you, and it's a place I would recommend anyone going, considering my time there. Apparently it has changed a bit in the last year and a half compared to what it was for foreigners there. And some people have had different experiences, but I can only speak about mine. And they have been very, very fundamentally positive for my growth and me as a person, as well as just seeing different cultures and embracing them myself. So that's great. Great people, great country, great culture. But honesty is important as well in this particular case, and this is with COVID-19, the coronavirus, or some people are calling it the China virus, which is unique. I mean, I guess it's not wrong them calling it that, because that's where it originated from. You should probably call it the Wuhan virus or the Hubei virus as opposed to just general China, because that's just a bit too big. Like, really, you're not being specific enough. But I think the Wuhan virus makes more sense than saying China virus. That's too big of a place. Like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know why people have just been like, no, you can't call it the China virus or the Wuhan virus or the Hubei virus. That's the origin of the virus. That's how shit works. That's how people label things. Like, that's it. But apparently it's coronavirus or COVID-19, apparently. And the point of this was to say honesty is important. Honesty is important. And I don't think China is being honest, in a lot of cases. It's just tough, because I want to go to China again, so, it's probably not me making this, but somehow, the USA has the most cases of coronavirus in the world. I don't know how. I don't know how it's the USA and not another country. But the USA has the most cases of Corona-chan in the whole world. 200,000. 4,500 deaths. That's like a 2% fatality rate, which is awful, but when you look at the actual numbers, I guess it's a pretty low fatality rate compared to a lot of places, which means they've actually handled it pretty well. You can say what you want about the leaders and this and that and whatever, and say, oh, we were late to it, and clearly they have the capabilities in America to handle this in a way that some people thought they wouldn't be able to. I think the real test is going to come when millions of people potentially have this, and at that point, hospitals are just going to basically go under. It's not going to be sustainable, and it won't be workable if that many people are sick with this. But as of now, America is not doing a terrible job, no matter how bad the news says certain countries are doing with this. I don't believe they could be doing that bad when they have 4,000 deaths out of a reported 200,000 cases. So take that for what you want. Italy has just been shot to pieces over the last 2 months. 110,000 cases, 13,000 deaths. Sad. Really sad. I mean, the death rate there is absolutely astonishing. It's like 12%. 13, like, that's really, really high. That's high. I think the general death rate is about 5% overall. Overall cases are 925,000 deaths. 46,000 and 193,000 people recovered. So the fatality rate is about 5% on average. Yeah. And there it's really high. Spain is about 9%, about 9,000 lost lives there. And this is where I had a problem, because I just don't see how China can realistically have 3,000 deaths from the virus, considering they've had it for the longest time out of anyone, really. And I cannot believe that when China reported that this was our first case on this date, which was like January the 15th or something, 10th maybe. I don't know what the exact date was. I think this had been around in China, in Wuhan, for weeks and weeks, if not months before that. And these cases of reported deaths have only been since this was being reported, because 81,000 cases and 3,000 deaths. I mean, I'm thankful it's really bad, 3,000 deaths because of this. But if that is all the people who passed away in China because of this, 1.4 billion people, then China obviously did the right thing by having their lockdown, or they have a easier case of doing it in China than we do in the UK or in America or Italy or Spain. Like, they rule with the iron fist, literally. It's what it is. And if that is the case, then they've done a good job in handling it. But considering the scope of this now, looking at those numbers from the start, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago even, I believed their numbers. I said, okay, 81,000 cases. Everyone else was, sub 10,000 at that point. So it was a believable number. I just don't think it's feasible that only 81,000 people in China contracted the virus and only 3,000 people died. I think honesty, as I said, is super important, because this could help everyone else understand the virus, to understand the death rate, the mortality rate. If they have more information than other countries on it because they've experienced it for longer, this is a world thing at this point. Everyone needs to help where they can. I think this is the key thing. This is not just about one country or another country. This is about, if you have information on something, you should go and help. If it's about physical equipment and stuff, if your country needs it most, then your country needs it most. But if it's about information, scientific research, intelligence, that stuff can be spread across the world. I don't see why that's a problem in this particular instance anyway. In the UK, Boris Johnson's obviously contracted it, Prime Minister there, and a lot of the cabinet and a lot of people in the UK have it. I think it's upwards of 30,000 people now have contracted it. And those are only the reported cases, right? So that's not everything. That's just the people who've gone in and been tested, and they've been like, hey, you have it or you don't have it. There are probably thousands and thousands of people who haven't been tested, who have it, or who haven't been tested and who have recovered potentially by now. So we don't really know the spread of this. We don't know the grasp. I think the most important thing is just to really, at this point, lock down. It's not easy. It's not easy. The boredom hits you really hard. And then it's just, you're looking and you're like, I want to go outside. Normally, I'm not one for going for runs, because I'm not. But I want to go for runs. And now it's like, should I even go for the run? I've gone for a couple days over the past 10 days or so. But then I come back and I'm like, should I have really even gone? Because there's a chance I could have spread it to someone, or someone could have spread it to me. I mean, I don't have it, so I couldn't have spread it to someone else. But if I caught it and then I came into the house, then I could have given it to someone else in the house. And then that's really, really not good. So it's a very odd thing where it's such a micro, personal effect it has on everyone's lives, but it's such a macro, huge, impactful world event as well, which is very, very unique and very, very weird. I just hope, just stay safe. I think, be honest and stay safe. And if anyone can help, then help. I think the medical staff and everyone involved, doctors, nurses, surgeons, police staff, teachers, anyone involved on that side. I mean, you're doing something. People have referred to this as a war, and it really is. It sort of feels like that in some ways, very weirdly. It feels like you're bunkered down, and there are people out there on the front lines, pseudo on the front lines, trying to deal with this and help this in whatever way they can, because they have the experience and expertise in some regard. But yeah, it's not an easy situation, but just stay safe. And stay inside. Pretty much it. Okay. I make a video every day. Been doing it for over 700 days, and I'm not stopping. Lockdown is not stopping me. Nope. If it's an hour and a half, 2 hours out of my day, then it's a good thing that I get to spend my day doing this. So I'll be here tomorrow. Over 700 days. Not stop until we get to 10,000 subscribers. So subscribe, that would be really great in this moment of time. Subscribe, you might actually like the content one day. Not today, maybe. Not yesterday or the day before, but maybe tomorrow. You never know. Reach for the stars, right? And you might pick out a good video when you click on it. So I'll see you tomorrow because I'm here and never not here. Back tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Skadoosh.